Hello, welcome to Beth Roars. I'm Beth and today we're going to be doing a vocal coach reacts to Gary Valenciano, Spain. Before we start, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. My handle is @BethRoars. Also, please do check out my website, bethroars.com, where you can find more in-depth singing technique blogs, and you can also book a singing lesson from me. And last but not least, do check out my Patreon, which is patreon.com/BethRoars, where you can find more exclusive content, and you can also make sure that your request definitely does happen. Gary Valenciano is one of these wonderful Filipino singers, and as far as I know, he's someone that a lot of the younger generation of Filipino singers look up to. So it's exciting to see where the roots of this Filipino talent is, although I'm sure it goes back generations and generations. But it's nice to go one step back. Gary has produced 39 albums, that's a huge body of work, and he has also won countless awards for Best Male Performer, so I'm super excited to hear this. I don't know him, I've never heard any of his music before, which is mad since he has so many albums.
Wish 107.5.
Yesterday,
Oh,
just a photograph of yesterday.
I have so much to say already. He's doing so many cool things and he sounds like a bit of a jazzer, which that's my thing. I love singing jazz. I love that introduction. I loved how he added jazzy sevenths in. What do I mean by a seventh? It's the seventh note of the scale. Normally the chords use the third and the fifth, but he's gone a bit jazzy. He's added that seventh note in. It sounds quite Latin. I mean, the song is called Spain, so that's going to be Latin-y anyway. And the do-do-do-do-do-die was scatting, so that's synonymous with jazz singing, in that way, instead of riffing where you just use ahs and oohs and consistent vowel sounds, you're adding consonants in to articulate them. But the main reason that scatting came about was vocalists who wanted to sound like instruments, like trumpets, like saxophones. After he did that intro, I loved that yesterday, and he just pushed that little bit of air out at the end, flat tone, no vibrato. It makes it feel like, oh, what's going on? And then the second time, yesterday, made it different and added the vibrato on. So much happening in just a few bars.
All its edges folded into coated, faded sepia brown, and yet it's all I have of our past love.
Oh, that low note was awesome. What I liked there was those interesting vowel sounds again. He's exaggerating the shape of the vowel sound to make it kind of cool and jazzy again. Folding into cold. He is using a little bit of his jaw for his vibrato. He sounds awesome with it. It's obviously not causing him any problems. If you are having a bit of tension in your vibrato though, do check. That might cause you problems.
A postscript to its ending.
So warm.
Brighter days, I can see such brighter days, when every song we sang is sung again. And now we know this time it's for good. And
That's so interesting. He's not using a normal pentatonic scale again. What I'm enjoying about this is the use of music. It's not just the use of voice, it's the choice of notes. That wasn't a pentatonic scale. Normally a riff would be on a pentatonic scale. He's just choosing his own little thing. It almost sounded a bit Arabic, which is really right for Spain because Spain has a lot of Arabic influences. I think I'm a fangirl. I just love this interesting jazz sound. I love the warmth in his tone. I love the straight tone, and he's using the vibrato in a very stylized way. Continue.
we're lovers once again. And you're
So much to say. Again, completely on the sound, such a jazz thing. and then he stays on that sound to make it an emotional sound.
You're near me.
And it's all very light.
You're near. You're near me.
And range, lovely head voice. Where's it gonna go?
But that's not all. I can remember the rain in December, the leaves were brown, falling down. In Spain, I did love and adore you. The nights filled with joy were our yesterdays, and the nights were our needs of yearning. I can't recall my desire, bury a memory, it's on fire, and I get a picture of all our yesterdays. Yesterday, I can say, I got a kick every time I see you gaze at me. I can remember the rain in December, the leaves were brown, falling down. Our love was a Spanish fever.
Oh, so much going on again. That melody is so complicated. Again, that's quite synonymous with jazz. The scoops falling down. I love his enjoyment. He just loves everything he's singing. He's like, he's so into it. His tone, he's going into that sort of place. The earlier stuff was really back, really breathy. And then when he hit the beat, he was like, bam, right into this mask area of his face. And he made the tone sit further forward, or feel like it's further forward in the face, so it adds a bit of punch. And again, his mix is lovely. It's less of a like chest voice, head voice thing that he was doing earlier on. What are things that are synonymous with this jazz sound? It is singing on the consonants, scoops and slides. Na na na, straight tone into a big wobbly vibrato, and complete freedom of notes, adding loads of random notes in, sevenths and fourths and things like that, which aren't necessarily part of the usual chord structure but are in a song like this.
The bright lights and sounds were our joy each day, and the nights were our need of yearning. I can't recall my desire, bury a memory, it's on fire, and I get a picture of all our yesterdays. Yesterday, I got the kick every time I see you gaze at me. I see moments of history. Your eyes meet mine, and we dance to the melody, as we live again, as if dreaming. The sounds of our hearts beat like castanets, and forever we'll know their meaning. I can't recall my desire, bury a memory, it's on fire, and I get a picture of all our yesterdays. Yesterday, I can say, that every time I see you gaze at me.
Wow. I love the staccato he's using, because sometimes that can sound a bit forced, but it just sounds fun. He sounds like he's having so much fun with this song. And again, it just does not go where your brain expects it to go. So clever writing. I love it. I love this jazz stuff.
You gaze at me, I see moments of history. Your eyes meet mine, and they dance to the melody, as we live again.
Okay, there's two things I want to talk about there. He was telling them to raise the sound. I know this is such a small note, but it's a sign of a good professional. He knows when he needs more backing track, so he's like, hey, so many singers are scared to ask the technicians for more of these things. Also, another thing that I noticed is that he, on his higher notes, often, not all the time, raises his chin a little bit. This is something that's a bit taboo in the singing teachers industry, in that a lot of people, when they're beginners, or if they've got a lot of tension in their neck, or have a really high larynx feeling, which gives you a tight feeling, raise their chin to try and reach the top notes, which is not the right thing to do in that situation. However, having said that, if you have a nice relaxed neck and a nice low sitting larynx or neutral larynx, raising the chin a little bit, you'll see this with Ariana Grande on these big high notes, can help a little bit with mix. What it actually does is widen the pharynx, the passage between your larynx and basically the back of your mouth, and allows the sound to resonate a bit more. Now, this may not work for you, but it might be worth a try. If there is any tension, if you're using this to reach the note, this is not right. But it is a technique that can be used.
As if dreaming, the sounds of our hearts beat like castanets, and forever we'll know their meaning. I just recall my desire, bury memory, it's on fire, and I got a picture of all I yesterday's yesterday. I can say, I got to give every time I see you gaze at me.
I'll talk about this in That was the best scat section of a song I think I've ever seen. As I told you, scat comes from making your body like an instrument, and he did that so well. Like using the breath that as part of the instrument, like this thing. And you could see what instrument he had in his head at the time, when he was being the bass, when he was being the drum, and using the consonants and the percussive sounds and quite beatboxy-like sounds, like he actually did beatbox a bit earlier, and the dum dum and the strong dental Ds, which is this sound, d, on the bass one, and then he was using that growl and that more twangy sound to be like a trumpet or a nice chilled saxophone. When he came right back and went into that chilled section, oh, it was so good. He uses all the tools in his toolbox. He had dynamics, he was using creak, he was using growl, he was using slides, he was using breath, he was using different tones, he was using twang. Literally, the list is endless of the nuances that he added in that, and it was in such quick succession.
Your eyes meet mine, and they dance to the melody as we live again, as if dreaming. The sounds of our hearts beat like castanets, and forever we'll know their meaning. I can remember the rain in December, the leaves were brown. The bright lights and sounds were our joy each day, and the nights were our needs. So if you heard me, I can become my side. Buried a memory that's on fire. And I get a picture of all my yesterdays. Just today I got to get every time I see that stage.
Wish exclusive. On Wish 1075.
Yeah!
Holy moly. Like, that was so good. I love that. He just used everything he had on that song, and you could see him at the end being like, whew, that was hard, but it was awesome. I'm a little bit in shock. What I love about singers like him, that's my favourite type of singer. The singers who don't use their voice as just a voice, but as an instrument to express something, using all these little nuances, all these little tools, all these different tones, and he just had complete control over it all. And no wonder he is someone that people look up to in the Philippines, because he is fantastic. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!